the amount of times I hear someone go, I'm wishing that humanity would wake up. That's your mirror to say you are codependent on the people outside of you to wake up before you move. We don't do that anymore. You are not needing anyone else to wake up for you to move. That is your ego's permission to stay small so that you can stay connected, which actually means attached, and you call it connected. I'm worried about losing my connection to your friends. You're worried about losing your codependent attachment to people that aren't moving. So you're trying to go and find God, but you're scared to go forward without getting everyone else to go. Kyle, it's easy for me to find gratitude when I can see how something served me and led me to something better. But when I'm in the midst, isn't that funny though? Let's take what you're saying. I can find gratitude when I see it brought me to something better. So if I don't see that, your belief is it didn't bring you to something better. Like you have to see it. That's the same as thinking you're alone if someone's in the next room, but not in your room, right? If you're in a room and you can physically see them, that's fine. But if they walk just to the other side of the door, you can't see them, but you're no less alone. They're just in there. So your belief is it only exists if you see it. Is everyone getting this? If you believe that it only exists if I see it, then you're totally stuck to what you can see. So not only in the physical sense, but what you can make sense out of, right? Oh, I'm grateful for that because that brought me to this. That's what you can see. But do you know how many things it's bringing you to that you can't see? Do you know what? I mean, you can't really see frequency. You can feel when you're in a really high frequency, you're just being, right? So you don't know it. So if you're in a place where you're going, I need evidence before I'm thankful for something, then you're totally stuck in such a small place of the ego, which can only see very, very, very little of what's going on. So my dare is to start to get grateful for everything without even knowing. Because just because something's not in the room with you or making sense immediately doesn't mean it's not the truth. It doesn't mean it's not right. And what you're here to learn is grateful without seeing evidence, right? That's actually what you learn, because otherwise your evidence is just self-serving. I'm grateful because I got this thing. Are you guys with me so far? So if you're just saying I'm grateful because I know what I got out of it, then you're still working from a very small consciousness. Your consciousness is saying it only is good if I can see what I got for it. And that's all that matters. Meanwhile, you don't know about the entire ripple effect of your raising your consciousness. You don't know about how the frequency affects other people, anything. So you're just connected to your ego evidence. We want you connected to the God evidence. And the God evidence is, I don't need to see the specifics because that's just the third density world. I am the specifics. I'm thankful, period. I don't need the evidence. Can you handle everything I just said? That felt big, right? This idea that you need to see the evidence before you're thankful. Like, I'm thankful I broke up with that person because now I got this person. Can you be thankful without knowing they're here? Can you be thankful without knowing that circumstance is here the same way? Is everyone digging what I'm saying there? Right? This is big. Imagine if you go into 2022 thankful without knowing why. And then you lose the why. You lose everything mattering on that level. Does this make sense? You could go into 2022 thankful for everything without knowing the why, which will make you not addicted to circumstances. Because does this make sense? You're not stuck saying that the circumstance is why it was good. Oh, I can see that was good because I made more money that way. You're stuck then on your in third density, and you're still saying money is bigger to me than the frequency of me in gratitude, period. The frequency of you in gratitude is worth more than all the money in the world, but you got to understand how to be in gratitude for no reason. That's a very different thing. We want to be in the frequency, right, of gratitude for no reason. Otherwise, you're still stuck on the level of the reasons. You're still stuck on the level that these reasons are bigger than me, right? This is big. Then you stop this thing going, well, it's good that that happened because that brought me to this. You're still saying the goodness is based on the thing, not it's good that it happened because it happened. That's God talk, right? That's the universe's perspective. Like, imagine how petty the universe would be if it's like, well, that happened so that I could make a bunch of money. That happened so I could find the love of my life, right? Imagine the smallness of that. That's a petty frequency. I mean, it's nice, it's helpful, it's a good start. You can use that as the training wheels. You can use that as the training wheels. It's good that that negative thing happened because that taught me this. But check out the power, and it's good that that happened because it did. It's right that that happened because that's the truth. It's what is. Now you're in harmony with what is. Now you're in harmony with what is. Now most of our ego is just an argument with what is. That's all the ego is. Right? The ego is an argument with what is. That's all it is. It's just an argument with what is. So what if you're not in the world of the circumstances are the reason, but you're in the vibration of what is? That will make you much more powerful, free, and magical in 2022. Because if you say it's good that thing happened because that made me have this money, you're still saying this is bigger. This reason is bigger than me. So this reason's my God. Then what happens? You lose that and go, so this was bad? Like, oh, that person broke up with me, but that brought me to this person. So it was good that we broke up, but this person left me. So it's bad that we broke up. By the way, that's how we move sometimes, right? You go through a breakup, then you'll get all excited about the new person. Then you realize the new person isn't it. So then you want the first person back. I mean, we're just running around like this, right? Like, that's not it. It's taking you to a frequency where the world revolves around your moves versus you're in a constant codependency to the world. It's so weird because it's mirroring you. So if it's mirroring you and you're codependent on it, it's really, really weird, right? It's doing a thing, but it's showing you, and then you're responding to it. And it's like, no, you. It's like you're looking into a mirror and you're seeing you and you're like, okay, so that, and then you're seeing you point at you and you're like, oh, okay, I'm responding to you point. You're pointing at it's you with you. So that's why it just keeps repeating itself, because we don't change to a world where we change, so the mirror changes. That's kind of off of a Bashar quote where he said, you don't change your smile. You don't change the smile in the mirror, you change you. So you go through this grade over and over and over again to show you, look, you're codependent on the mirror of you. So you got to change you so the mirror changes, right? That's what this is for. That's what life is for. That's like part of life. It's going, okay, go into the virtual reality. Okay, now understand this thing and now understand this thing. Okay, the virtual reality is showing you this, you're showing this. And then you're falling in love with the crap in the virtual reality. And it's like, that's a digital image. That's the matrix. Don't look at that. Don't get so caught in that. That's just information. Think of your job as information. Think of your relationship as information. It's not the thing you change. It's information for you to change inside, right? That's what this is for. So you go inward. Oh, okay, that isn't aligning. That isn't it. That's not it. Boom, go inward. Go inward, because I don't want to Groundhog Day this for the rest of my life where it keeps repeating itself over and over. Do not go into 2022 in the same patterns as 2021. The frequency of 2022 will not even be able to handle the frequency of 2021 because it's bigger now, it's higher. You cannot go through 2022 the same way you move through 2021. You keep going up and you undo yourself from the external mattering so much. I'll work with people sometimes and they'll say that sentence, you know, it's good that that happened because that brought me to this. And I feel my body excited when they start, it's good that that happened. And they go, because it brought me to this, and I feel my body dip. I'm like, no, 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 no. Just stay on that frequency of it's good because it's the truth. And your opinion, remember, comes from not having all the information. Like, even if you lost someone, of course there's sadness. If you lost someone who passed away, I'm not discounting the empathy needed and the sadness for it, but maybe they're in a freer place for real. Or maybe they don't want to be on that frequency anymore. Or maybe there's something birthing on a higher level, or maybe like there's something bigger, or maybe they're actually holding space for a higher you on, like, you don't know. I'm just saying we don't know the whole thing. But it seems to all at one point make sense. Do you understand that? So someone just wrote, what's happening to the people who live in 3D reality? Are you ready for this answer? So many friends that aren't. Imagine that's a mirror to show you your attachment to 3D by being attached to the people who live in the 3D reality. Right? Imagine your pain about other people living in 3D reality, which is where they're supposed to be right now, for a reason, for their lesson, for their quickening, for whatever reason that we don't quite understand. What if life is showing you, hey, do you see your codependency on people who are in 3D? That's why they're showing you themselves to you right now, to show you that you're still stuck to it. And your new lesson is to allow people to be where they are. The ones that might come to you and ask advice, you can offer it. But one of the things I learned that changed from 2021 and 2020, 2021 and 2022 is I don't go into the hole that they're in with people. I stand outside the hole and I offer help, but they got to be willing to climb out themselves. Right? This is big. I hope you guys get this. It's really big, the difference between standing outside of the hole and being there for someone who's climbing themselves out of the hole, or you trying to pry people out of the hole who are fighting to stay in it and pull you in it. Imagine if you didn't need to be understood so much, right? Because there's things that you might see. And you might be trying to convince your parents to see it. There's things you might see, and you might be trying to convince some friends to see it. And they don't want to, right? Do you understand that? And your codependency on them, because you have wired that they're the same frequency as your mom. Do we get this? They're the same frequency as my dad. This is what it feels like when I was a child. I can't feel free until these people see this thing. That's the lesson for you to sever, that you're God's kid now, and you're on a frequency where you're here, if that calls to you, for the people who are ready to climb themselves out of the hole. But when you say, what about all the people in third density? Imagine this, that you are in a virtual reality game and you are trying to get certain people to go up, and you are sacrificing your butterfly wings to get every caterpillar jammed into the cocoon. Meanwhile, if you would just fly, you will discover virtual reality will change to a higher frequency where there is less and less people suddenly that don't see it. You'll literally you'll get a whole new set of people, or the people that you're trying to change will change because you're not trying to change them. Right? So life is going, listen, stop. The amount of times I hear someone go, I'm wishing that humanity would wake up That's your mirror to say you are codependent on the people outside of you to wake up before you move. We don't do that anymore. You are not needing anyone else to wake up for you to move. That is your ego's permission to stay small so that you can stay connected, which actually means attached, and you call it connected. I'm worried about losing my connection to your friends. You're worried about losing your codependent attachment to people that aren't moving. So you're trying to go and find God, but you're scared to go forward without getting everyone else to go. So you're trying to get them to go. You're trying to get them to go, try to get them to go because you're just scared to go on this thing by yourself. But this is the same reason when you go to a restaurant, you can't even figure out what you want to eat until you ask the person across from you what they're eating. You have no self-connection. Do you know what I'm talking about? When you go to a restaurant, what do you guys want? You look at each other. Like this person knows better than your stomach what you want to eat. And you're sitting here going, should I order that? Steve, should I order this food? And he's like, well, definitely, I know better than your stomach. Yes, you want the tacos. And you're like, wow, I'm codependent. I can't even just, and like, we can't even say goodbye without throwing in 10, I'm going to be back. We're so codependent on each other. So life is going, look, I need you to show me that it's down to me and you, source, right? Me and you, that you'll go up this ladder even if other people around you won't. I need you to skydive to show other people skydiving works versus forcing them to jump off a plane so you can too. You get it? That's the reason. That's what life's showing you in the mirror. I want you to see everything is just showing you something in the mirror. Right? That's why it's showing, that's what it's showing you in the mirror. When you go, Kyle, the people in the third density aren't, you're handing your power over right there. That sentence implies that you don't have the power. You're not your own sovereign being that changes this. You're now the collective. So you think you got to get the collective to move, which implies to the universe, I'm not the answer. That's you asleep trying to change everyone in your dream. But they're just people you're dreaming, and you're the entire setting. Just understand and wake up from the dream. And you realize that this is a mirror. It really is. You'll see it. You'll start to feel a higher frequency, and then you'll just hear something. You'll go to a higher frequency. You'll be in a place where you have no attachment to what's going on in the world. You have no attachment to what other people do. And someone will just walk by you and be like, did you hear the lockdown ended? Because you're not even remembering it because there's no lockdown spiritually. If anything, you've undone yourself from your own egoic spiritual lockdown in the last 2 years. Isn't this exciting? That's what's going on.